Good afternoon. I'm Danielle Shenk in the 1011 Now Alert Center with this week's Crime Stoppers. Joining me right now is Aaron Pembleton with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Police Department. How's it going today?
It's going. It's another great week out there. The weather is okay today, but it's about to change for us. But we'll just keep plugging along.
A little windy, but
For sure.
And as you said, you don't have to worry too much about the
No,
the
it does
wind
not.
when it comes to
It doesn't do too much to me. I keep it sleek that way. I don't have to worry about it.
And no hairspray.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about
No.
racking up the dollars on buying hairspray.
I tell my wife she gets all the budget for the hair product.
There we go. So we have a couple of cases that we're talking about here today, and we'll kind of, build up to some of the more serious ones. But the first one that we're talking about here is a scooter theft. So what can you tell us about that?
Yep. So on January 30th, we had an individual come onto campus and remove a scooter. He actually rides up on a bike and then just pushes the scooter away. It was unfortunately unlocked and just left there at the Devaney Center on this day. Again, one of those more brazen, if you will, because it was during the daytime. So it was about a little after 3 o'clock on the 30th. He rides up and takes an iScooter iX3 800-watt off-road scooter. So a couple unique things about this one. He's carrying a bag that says beef. So again, with the people down at Crime Stoppers, they come up with all kinds of clever.
Yeah.
So this one, where's the beef? So I like that one from the old Wendy's ad. So that kind of made me giggle when I saw it. So again, comes up, rides off with it, wearing a gray stocking cap, black puffer coat, jeans, rides up on a bike, and then rides away. White male, kind of some facial hair, little hard to distinguish like age range with him, but probably 30s or after, that kind of stuff. But does come up. But as we've talked before, people are creatures of habits. It's kind of a unique drawstring bag that just has beef written on it. So again, if you know this individual, I've seen him around your apartment complex or your neighborhood, we would love to talk to you about him and just have a quick conversation.
Yeah, it's always interesting how many of these pictures that you guys come up with, even Lincoln Police, LSO too, and that they're wearing bright colored clothing or a very distinguishable bag. They're just not blending in like they would if you're, going to commit a crime. But when it comes to this electric scooter theft, so it wasn't one of like the bird scooters that's around, anything like that?
Not one of the city ones. It was a student on campus. They had rode it near the Devaney Center and unfortunately just left it unlocked and it was sitting there. So again, I think why sometimes these happen and people aren't so disguised, if you will, is because they're crimes of opportunity and they ride by and they're like, well, that one's not locked up. And then they, it's like, well, I'm here right now and I'm just going to take it. And so they don't do let me go get into my disguise first. It's just, I know it's here. It's right now. I'm going to move on with it, right? And so that's kind of what happened with this one.
And do you know if there were any witnesses around him?
Not that we were reported, and nobody has came forward saying that they saw anything like this. So again, it was luckily for us, we have some pretty decent CCTVs around on campus and that kind of stuff. So we were able to get the footage of him, but no witnesses as of this time. That's why we're asking the public for help.
Yes, and so Bob Devaney, kind of one that we don't hear too much about when it comes to the thefts with bicycles and stuff like that. But do they occur still over by Bob Devaney?
They have a couple
Pinnacle?
larger bike racks and stuff that are over there, and it is a major thoroughfare of athletes and different things that have to get out to there. And that's one of the unfortunate things about this one too, is like it's kind of an outlying area of campus. So most of the people that need to get to that location don't walk. They have a mode of transportation, either a bike or a scooter or something. So when that gets taken from them, it hurts a little bit more, if you will, because that is maybe their sole mode of transportation, and they have to travel maybe a bigger distance than other people do if they don't have it and that kind of stuff. So again, just trying to see if we can contact someone and get this scooter back for the victim.
And so if this suspect is identified here, what charges could he face?
It would still be a misdemeanor theft. So that's what we would be looking for this one.
Alrighty. And so for those of you just joining us here on our streams, we've been talking about an electric scooter theft outside Bob Devaney Sports Center. But now we're going to move on to our second case, which is a vehicle theft investigation. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah. So this one, we had two individuals come onto campus on the 17th of February. They wander through a parking lot, trying some door handles and that kind of stuff. And so they're suspects in this case. Due to the distance and where they are in the parking lot, we don't have great imagery of them. But again, maybe they're talking about it or they mentioned it to someone and someone knows something about it. They're described as two male individuals. One is wearing like a dark colored top with gray sweatpants, white shoes. The other one mostly all black with black shoes. But that's about the limited information you have. And as you can see from the imagery that we sent in, it's not great. But again, people talk, people say things. So we thought it would be good to just put it up there and see if the public could help us with this.
Yeah.
The victim in this case reported missing approximately $130 cash out of their car and a check. They weren't sure exact on the amount for the check, but it was their scholarship refund check from the university, so it was going to pay for their tuition. So that was kind of a bummer for them. Hopefully, I know they can get that just reissued to them and cancel the first one. But again, has to go through some extra hassle and that kind of stuff. So again, they came onto campus. They wandered around the parking lot for approximately 25 minutes or so, trying door handles. Found one that was unlocked, was able to rummage through it, get some cash, and then ran off. So
and so compared to Mr. Beef earlier, these two individuals seem to be dressed in darker clothing, something a little less
less descriptive.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you said that this vehicle was unlocked when it was entered. And so how much time kind of passed between that break-in and then when they realized, or like when those individuals were searching around the area to when the victim found out that they were
it
robbed?
Was probably, about 6 days that they hadn't been out to their car. And so then they come out to their car and realized, it's amiss because things have been rummaged through and they saw it. But and that's not real miscommon on the campus of people parking their car and then not coming back to it for quite a while.
Because if you're, walking around
I mean, if you're not needing to leave, if your job is right near campus, we have a lot of students that just work on campus too. So I was the same way. I parked my truck for months and never went to it because I didn't need to. And so just one of the things. So it was about 6 days that they came back and then found this stuff. But luckily we were able to go back and pinpoint the day where it looked like it happened. So that's why we want to talk to these two individuals.
And so you said this happened at around Harper Hall, and they tried several other vehicles as well?
They were wandering through the parking lot there around Harper Hall.
And so if these suspects are identified, what charges could they face?
Again, for the state, it would be theft of the property because there's not a state entering a vehicle charge as of right now. And so the city actually has one, but the state doesn't. So it would just be the theft for the money is what we'd be looking for.
Alrighty. Well, if you're just joining us on our website, app, Facebook, TikTok, we've been talking about two campus cases, a scooter theft and a car break-in near Harper Hall. These are the two victims in that Harper Hall case. So if someone has information, what should they do?
They can always reach out to the police department. You can call us at 402-472-2222. You can text us at 402-472-5552. Or you can always go to the LincolnCrimeStoppers.com or use the P3 app. And then those last two are the ways that they can be connected with the rewards that are attached to it. So that's the best way to do it. We always like to talk to people, and so it's a great way because most of the time we always have more questions or wanted to dive into it a little bit more. But we'll take any information that we can get. So if you use the P3 app or LincolnCrimeStoppers.com, we would appreciate it.
Yeah, multiple ways to get in contact with them over the phone, on their website, app, all the ways, of course. And so while I have you here, I wanted to ask about two recent incidents on campus that have been raising some concerns, a reported sexual assault and then Monday night's airsoft gun incident. And for the viewers, I did warn Captain Aaron ahead of time that I'd be asking about these topics, so he's not blindsided by this. So the first, we'll talk about the sexual assault that was reported over the weekend. What can you kind of tell viewers about this case?
So it came into the police department on Sunday night, sometime between 11:30ish and 1:15. We had a survivor on campus come and report the assault. So we took that, went through. It's still an open investigation. So we're working through the processes and all the steps that we have to do to that. It's a known person to the survivor. So we have a suspect, but we're just working through all the stuff that we need to do for that.
And so it happened at the Village?
Village, yes.
What is that?
That's a residence hall on campus, yep.
funny name for residence hall.
Yeah, the
village.
Well, it's a complex, so there's several buildings in it. So I think that's why they call it a village, because it's not just one building; it's several buildings that are like right next to each other. So that way, it's not just one building, maybe.
Yeah, the more you know about campus.
Yeah, right. The more you know.
Yeah, and for those of you just joining us again, we covered a couple Crime Stopper cases and are now talking about some recent campus safety concerns. And so we'll move on to that Monday night on East Campus. What kind of happened there?
Yeah, it was reported to us that there was an individual walking around East Campus, possibly carrying some type of long gun. So once we got the information, we responded. Unfortunately, due to some time constraints, they had already wandered off campus. But we were, through CCTV, able to track them to where they went. We were able to go contact them. It was some juveniles that were wandering around with airsoft guns. So they're the ones that shoot like the little plastic pellets. So we had an educational talk with them due to their age. There was again, statutorily, there's not a crime because they're not classified as weapons. But again, there's some things that we have, if an officer would have found them, several of the weapons looked fairly real. And so that could cause some safety issues for the juveniles themselves if an officer or somebody would have happened upon them and was also armed. Again, not supposed to carry weapons on campus. So it would have been law enforcement that could have found them. So we could have had some issues there. So again, some educational stuff trying to get that. And then once we were able to clear the area, we sent another UNL alert to clear it and that kind of stuff. But back to the time constraints, it was one of those things of some people observed them on campus, but then it was posted on social media, and there was a delay in law enforcement response because we didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And then so once we knew about it, we went through our proper procedures to try to get to all that stuff. So just a general reminder to the public, if you see something like this, it's always better to call law enforcement to let us know. As I mentioned, we do have a very robust CCTV system on campus, but we don't have the staff nor logistical way to cover and monitor all the cameras that we have, right? It's just not manpower feasible. So although we can go back and review a lot of stuff, we can't sit there and stare at all the cameras. It's not feasible, right?
Yeah.
So again, the public are our best eyes. They're our best way to find information as fast as they can. So any time that you see something on campus that seems odd, don't think, well, someone else already called it in, or I'm not going to make, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
We would always call us, let us know. I would rather respond to a million of these where it's nothing versus someone never calls in and it's the real thing and it's something that's bad that's going to happen. So again, we would just, try to educate people, call us right away, let us get out there and handle it. And in that way, it could have been even faster handle and the situation would have been resolved even quicker.
Yeah. Because it seemed, I think in the response from, I can't remember who from UNLPD had sent us a statement yesterday, Farringer, right? He mentioned that there was a little discrepancy and maybe someone called 911 instead of UNL police and on top of posting on TikTok instead.
Which is okay. We're tied in. We have a great working relationship with LPD and we're tied into their CAD system. So whether you dial 472-2222 or 911, it's going to get a law enforcement response right away. So that part is good. I think the part that is kind of confusing is that the person that called in was from City Campus and not on East Campus.
There we go.
But they had just seen the post on Yik Yak and said, hey, this is concerning, and they called us, but there was a long delay in between those two things. So that kind of brought the thing. But until we could parse out all the information, because as soon as we got it, we're like, hey, send the alert, let's go. Because then by the time you parse through the information of like, oh, this is delayed a half hour. So then we have to start jumping back to CCTV to try to find where they went, try to find all the information. Again, we contacted the reporting party and they're like, I just saw it on Yik Yak and I have no other information. And so then it's like, okay, where did this information come from? How can we try to get to that? So again, just calls to the police department are a great source that we can get moving and start doing stuff.
And again, with that delay, then by the time that you guys heard about it, they're already off campus.
Yes. Yeah, they were already gone. So then we responded, cleared the area, couldn't find anything. Then we're able to use our resources, kind of track them back to where they went. And it was cleared fairly fast. after, once we found out about it and could do our due diligence and that thing. But again, it was just the delay in that reporting part that we would like to shore up a little bit. That would be great for us. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so yesterday, this was the graphic that I had created yesterday to kind of report on this story. So I was just going to put that up so viewers could kind of see what you've been talking about here. But in light of these student concerns and a student reaching out. I think several students had also emailed our newsroom saying, "Oh, were you aware if this happened? Like, this is kind of scary." And so we followed up. Is UNLPD reviewing its alert process at all, or just hoping to educate people a little bit better, like through segments like this to say?
I think education is great of getting the response to us, and we're always looking to improve. So if there's ways that we can do things or change things to make the people more educated on how to help us, and then also how we can get information out to everybody. So we're always doing reviews just to see if there's something that we missed, or if there's, policies, procedures, something that we need to change. Again, with this, the information delay was probably one of the biggest things of how do we get to that point and how do we get everybody informed as fast as they can. So,
Did you guys send anything out to students after the fact just to kind of clear anything up?
There was an update that was sent out yesterday morning just to try to clarify, because again, I think some people maybe with just the all clear were a little, I guess, underinformed of what we meant by all clear, because when we say all clear, it's mostly been resolved or there's no continued issues. So I think some people had some concerns on if what was the resolution of it, right? So we did send something out on socials yesterday of just like, hey, this is the fact pattern that we know it to be, just to try to clear some of that up.
Alrighty. And so if you have information about any of these cases, you can always contact UNLPD or LPD, and those tips can remain anonymous. Aaron, you had also mentioned that, bike thefts, electric scooter thefts are quite common on campus, but there's another one that you're thinking will be posted on.
Yeah, shortly.
Crime Stopper
soon. We have another suspect on campus that's hit us a couple different days and a couple different times, taking e-scooters. So there should be, hopefully within the next day or two, a new Crime Stoppers up of a suspect that we have on campus that has hit us a couple times. So if you know anything and you're a continuous user of Crime Stoppers, we'd love for you to check that out and let us know. And then we can hopefully get some information and maybe solve one of these with that information. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. So this is the website that you would be going to look for those cases and to even submit some Crime Stoppers tips if you do. All right, Aaron, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem.
All right. And for those viewers who joined on a little late, we will have this interview on our website in full, so watch out for that. You can also stay tuned to 1011 Now, follow us on all our social media, and download our Roku app for the latest news of the day. From our newsroom to wherever you are, we'll see you on the next stream.
1011 News is everywhere. Download our smart TV apps and follow us on social media at 1011 News.